Hi friends, my name is Vanessa Fernandez and I run the Enneagram workshop, and we're doing a little mini series on the defense mechanisms of each type and how they show up, and some questions that we might want to ask ourselves as we are doing our inner work and trying to navigate these defense mechanisms that pop up, and they're trying to keep us safe, but they also keep us from transformation. So what do we do with that? If you haven't already watched the first video, I know it's on type 1, but there's also a little intro right at the beginning where I talk a little bit more about defense mechanisms. Maybe it's the first 5 or 6 minutes of that video. I would invite you to go and check that out first before diving into this one, because I'm going to go straight into type 2, the defense mechanism, and some things that we might want to consider. Okay, so type 2's defense mechanism is repression. Type 2s will repress their own needs. They will also repress their own awareness of their own needs, right? There becomes this connection that 2s will make, that it is not safe or productive for me to know what I want. Because what I want and pursuing what I want will cost me connection. And because 2s are in the heart triad, connection is all they want. Connection is one of those things that we need attachment as children, as infants, to a caregiver in order to survive. So it's more than just pay attention to me and I want to feel good. It is linked to a deep-seated need of survival to have connection with others. So if knowing what I need and asking for it and pursuing it will cost me connection with others, then all a 2 can do in order to keep their heart intact, or at least somewhat intact, is to repress their needs. But here are some questions that I would love to ask for 2s, because sometimes we'll ask a type 2, well, just, advocate for what you need. And then that's how you'll grow in this skill. But here's the problem. Advocating for what we need requires multiple skills. First, I have to know what I need. And that's one of the things that repression kind of steals from type 2s. Second, I have to have the courage to ask for what I need. And third, I have to detach my worth from the other person's ability or willingness to give me what I need, so that I can be with myself if the answer is no. Right? If my worth is tied up in whether or not that person is willing or capable of providing the need that I just advocated for, then I can't take their rejection. I can't, because it will shatter my self-worth. It will shatter my heart. So in order to advocate for what I need, I not only have to know what I need at the front end, voice what I need in the middle, but also soothe, hold, care for, and tend to myself after the fact. Because if I get a no, and that shatters me, I will never engage in this series of events again, right? It only makes sense. So building those 3 skills is actually something that is necessary for anyone who wants to advocate for needs that they have. And this is why it's not as easy as it sounds. Oh, just advocate for what you need. First of all, I don't know what I need. That's the first step. Now, how does a type 2 work with that repression? Well, they have to come into their body. So this is the first question I have for you, type 2s. Can you feel your body as you become present to how your well-intentioned efforts may not have been effective or even may have been potentially harmful, right? So this is part of that inner work of type 2s, when they start to realize that maybe all the help that I'm offering is not always wanted. Maybe all the helpfulness that I'm sending out, because we always give out what we wish we would receive. Maybe all of this helpfulness that I'm giving out is not only not really helping as much as I would like it to, maybe it's even potentially hurting someone. And as we do our inner work, we have to feel into our bodies, either the grief of that, the way that we might have this reaction to it, and then some of the longings that we have. I long for someone to care for me this way. Why don't they want it? I long for someone to turn in toward me. Why don't they receive all of my attention and love? Why are they pushing me away? This is what I long for. And so part of working through this inner work is, can I be present to my own body? Can I feel into my own body? What are my longings? If you're not sure what you want, type 2s, pay attention to what you give. Most likely, what you give is what you want. Start doing some work around that and feeling into your body. What feels true to you? Maybe make a list of all the things you've been giving and circle the ones that, as you read them, as you say them out loud, something in your body says, that's what I want. That's what I long for. This is how you start reconnecting to those desires that have been repressed, right? We're coming back to that defense mechanism of repression. This is how you come back to that. Also, as a type 2, are you repressing some of the emotions that you have decided make you weak or needy, right? So this is a question where we can do a little work around, what do I perceive as being weak and needy? When I see someone else doing something and I'm just like, oh, they're so needy, or oh, they're so weak, or oh, they're so selfish. All those judgments that we put out are indicators of what we do not allow ourselves to experience, feel, or embody. So as you notice what you're reacting to, those may be the very things you never allow yourself to engage in. Those may be the very things that you are wanting to be, but are saying, no, again, that identification, I have to be this way. So I could never be that. I could never just directly ask for what I want. Oh, that's so selfish. Is it? Or have you decided that that's selfish? Because it's actually just being human, but it's the part of humanness that contradicts who you think you have to be as a type 2. These are the questions. These are the questions that help us dig into some of those shadow sides and help us pull up what we have been repressing. All right, we're going to have type 3 in the next video. Again, I mentioned this in the type 1 video, but if you are looking for guidance around especially how these defense mechanisms impact corporate teams, nonprofit teams, there's so many areas where a group of people come together and are trying to do good work. But these defense mechanisms are subconscious. These defense mechanisms are pervasive. And these defense mechanisms, when they come out of us, interact with others and their defense mechanisms in very unique and specific ways that can unintentionally create miscommunications, misalignments, and friction. So a lot of what I do is helping individuals and teams and leaders understand, see, and learn how to navigate through and around these defense mechanisms with compassion, with dignity and respect, so that their teams have more openness, collaboration, and impact. My information is in the notes below this video, and I'd love to talk with you about how some of this work might serve your team and what you're trying to accomplish.